Today marks 1326 days sharing lessons I learn and continue to learn with you. I hope that these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about suggestions. Such an interesting topic. Because suggestions could break your trust and really create a trust. Really, suggestions could nurture relationships and they really could break relationships. So suggestions are such an important topic because there could be so many things that we need to consider about suggestions, and today I will share 7 things we need to consider about suggestions. Because potentially, one thing is that a person could ask for a suggestion, and you give a suggestion. Secondly, they could not ask for a suggestion, but you still want to give a suggestion. Now, at that moment, when you want to give a suggestion, there's few things could be happening as well. One thing, that your suggestions could suck. You never know about his context, about his situation 100%. It might be that you're wrong. Even though that in our mind, we believe that this is the best thing for them. And sometimes we judge people and want to give suggestions to really change their lives, even though that it might be not the best for them. Second thing is that your suggestion could be the best in the universe. And that's exactly what they need to do to change their lives. And your intention is clear and is great. But at that moment, your delivery of your suggestion could be so wrong that they will not do what you suggested. I have seen so many times. I probably have done that by myself. That sometimes when a person gives a suggestion in a wrong way, you just don't want to do the right thing that could be right for you. Because it might be that you feel maybe judged, maybe you feel controlled, maybe there's a lot of different emotions. Now, I think that's one thing is that so like when I deliver the suggestion, that means I need to take it because they need to be mature, they need to accept it, they need to take it. But I think that sometimes it should be that way. But people are not ready for it yet. I think that the most important people who really want to help people, serve people, again, this word is leadership, is servanthood. So that means if you're a leader, if you're ahead, if you see more, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do when you see more, when you are potentially ahead in the wisdom? That means that you are ahead. So what it means that you need to serve that person by showing up where they are, not where they're supposed to be. Because judges say they're supposed to accept my advice easily, suggestion, and they're not supposed to feel insecure about my delivery. Then again, this shows that we are not able to really understand that we need to meet where they are. If you want to serve people and add value, we want to really come and understand where they are and help them deliver the message and suggestion in a way that they're able to accept in the most possible way. So today we'll share 7 things which we're able to really consider what we need to know about suggestions. So number 1, advice is emotional, not just practical. And so that means that when you think about suggestion, we need to really think about relationship first. So that means about what this suggestion will do for my relationship. Now, of course, some are non-negotiables. I understand that. Some are non-negotiable suggestions. That means that if someone is doing something very incredible wrong and draining for himself and for you, of course, that means that it's not suggestion. It's almost like a being able to say this is a standard that must be met. And if they're not willing, because the most important part about really change is willingness. I really love that. I really love the word willingness. Everything in life could be achieved if a person is willing to really go through it. And sometimes people say, like, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand why the suggestion is the best. I don't understand it, but I trust you and I will implement it because I trust you. And I think that that's exactly what we need to do to build trust with the person, to build that relationship. And again, this suggestion needs to come from not a judgmental perspective that you are inferior, you are not able to handle yourself, so that I need to really give suggestions because otherwise you'll not figure out by yourself. No, this is again mentality. But when you come from the heart, because I want the best for you. And I was considering a lot of different things, and I potentially this could be the best option for you. What do you think? And I think that they're able to really think it through and I'll find a way. So the delivery of that suggestion is very important, and that's why not just practical, logical sound of your advice that matters, but really how to develop that relationship and nurture that relationship in a way that could be developed. That means that when you deliver the suggestion, we need to understand that the relationship matters the most. And the advice and suggestion is to really nurture a relationship rather than just give advice to really seem smart. Because that's exactly what we do sometimes. We really talk and talk and talk just to really be seen smart. And I found myself as well falling into that category as well, sometimes overshare, because and sometimes people don't need that much information. What they need just they need some actionable one step to really make a step forward. Number two is permission is power. I think that is again when a person doesn't ask for suggestion or advice, sometimes it's a very, very, very gray area. Because sometimes it's unsolicited advice will not be implemented. It goes from one ear to another. So that means you waste your time and you waste their time because we wasting everyone's time because we share something that will never be implemented. But at the same time, we need to really understand that if a person doesn't respect you, they will never take advice as well. Because the number one thing we need to ask ourselves, if the suggestion will be respected, heard, and you really have a control of themselves to really make a choice to really try to implement that. Because I think that permission is such a beautiful thing, and I think that permission comes from a lot of different areas. Because sometimes you can ask like, "Can I give you a suggestion?" Even though that is better than giving a suggestion right away, but I think that there's even better way to do it. So that means that when you want to really give a suggestion, sometimes I think that being able to not judge person that maybe they then don't know, maybe give a benefit of the doubt and ask a question. Could I ask a question like why you do this way? Like there's so many different ways to understand that, but I just want to understand why. Because like for example, there's this way to do it, this way to do it, this way to do it, and he can give you a suggestion by asking a question. Why? What's behind why not doing this way, this way? So that means at that moment they're able to really give yourself a reason why they are doing a certain way, because you want to understand why they do it a certain way, because maybe they already thought about your suggestion and they declined it because of a certain reason. I think that sometimes we do not consider that our suggestions could not be right. And then again, this way allow you can give them option to discuss all possible options and find a way. Because giving a suggestion is already assumed that you know better. But when you're asking the question, what was the reason behind you choosing this one instead of like other ones, like I'm trying to understand. That moment, of course, you're able to discuss and find a way. Number three is your intent doesn't cancel their experience. So that's such a beautiful thing. So that means that, as I said, that your intent doesn't cancel their experience. So that means the way how you deliver might destroy the suggestion. So message and message could be very important, but the messenger could destroy the message because it's delivered in the wrong way, in the wrong time. Again, this is where your leadership comes into place. Is this the right time? Is this the right place? Is the right way delivered the message, deliver suggestion, deliver advice? Because it might be that the message was the best message in the world, but if it's the wrong time, wrong place, and the wrong way, that means that advice might be basically lost, and that person will not have opportunity to really take your advice seriously. So we need to ask ourselves: is it the right place? Is it the right time? Is it the right way? And so sometimes I'm asking the question when giving statement is always my question, always asking questions, because I think that one of the best ways to influence people is by asking questions, allowing them to figure out by themselves, rather than giving advice, rather than giving suggestion, is being able to ask questions that they could come up with that suggestion by themselves, to themselves. That's the highest level of giving advice. Number four, advice can trigger ego, shame, defense. And I think that we need to be aware that our suggestions could make them feel uncomfortable. And I think that's part of life. Like most suggestions coming with change. I think that doesn't never come suggestion without a change. And people in general do not like change. So what it does, every suggestion for every single person will create some kind of trigger. Some of them will be like a couple seconds trigger because they love change. For other people, maybe a massive trigger will be like, what would happen if I need to do that? I will be rejected. I will be embarrassed. Like, it might be 1,000 thoughts going through their mind when the suggestion is made. And I think that we need to be aware. And sometimes it could be ego, like how we'll be seen. Like, there's so many things could be, and we need to ask us sometimes, like, what is coming up for that person? What might be coming up? What kind of experience do they have that this change, how big this change is for them? Because I think sometimes suggestions should be leveled as well based on stages. So it means when you think about this person, that means that if for ourselves as well, where am I? Like if I'm in a scale from 1 to 10, I'm not able to do the exercise that if someone who is 8 or 9 is able to do. Exactly the same with suggestions. If you know that what is the best for them, but maybe is not the best right where they are standing right now. Maybe you're able to downgrade that suggestion and give a half of that suggestion just to make sure that they're able to really execute right away without massive discomfort. Number 5, and this is a powerful thing. Sometimes listening is the most transformational suggestion. That's very, very powerful. I think that my brother was the best at it. I used to come up with him, and I used to live with him for a year, and I always was a dreamer. I always share the big things that I have in my mind. I have big dreams, and I used to share all the things that I have planned for me, for him, for my family, all the things. And the most important part, after all the things that I said, he listened very intently, and the only thing that he said was that I will be there for you when you will need me. That was the only thing that he said. I think that was the most important thing that I needed to hear because I had a safety net. And I think that's listening is the most important because I knew that I have that corner in my I have somewhere to really fall back onto. And I think that listening here does that. You know that you have someone to be accountable for. That you know that someone that you depend on. I think that's exactly the most important part because most people are not able to listen. That's an amazing skill to have. Most people are not able to listen. So being able to listen, I think it means that when you listen and you don't interrupt, you don't share, you don't overshare, what it shows that you are important enough to give time and listen and not say anything. I think this is a very powerful thing. Just saying that it could be a lot of things. I'm with you. I think that's again, there's the most important thing that we're able to see. Just that sounds really hard. Not giving advice, just not giving suggestions. When someone shares, sometimes just really that sounds really hard. Because what is interesting thing about people? Majority of us know exactly what we need to do, but we're afraid. Sometimes we need validation. And just when someone validates, that really sounds really hard. Sometimes it enables people to really go after the things that they really wanted, they really know. That sounds really hard. Could enable people to really do the right things because now, yeah, that's hard. I'm understood. Someone understands me. Okay, let's go and make things happen. And I think this is very powerful. Number 6, people own what they discover themselves. And I really mentioned, people own what they discover themselves. That means how are we able to really help them to realize what they potentially could do? Of course, questions is amazing thing. And really being able to do the things, and sometimes even like sharing what you learn. Maybe sometimes one person is not ready to really directly to take advice, maybe able to work and meet where they are and really share what you learning. Maybe you should learn something about yourself, and you share what you learn, and maybe the things that you share, what you learn about yourself, will help other person to really improve themselves. I think this is a great way to really give a suggestion without giving suggestion when you give yourself a suggestion. So it means that I was listening to a podcast and I learned something very beautiful and I will implement into my life. And it was so good, and I decided to share with you because I just think that that's when I share, I learn better. And really sharing for yourself and for other person gives double edge. A last one, number 7, is giving good suggestions is a skill. learn it, and practice it. I think that we always need to ask, like, who potentially needs a suggestion? From all the people that I know, who could be the person that I could support the most right now? In what way? Kind word, kind gesture, some listen ear, being present. There's a lot of things that we're able to really give out. I think that just giving suggestion is just by living. I will never forget. I was living with a New Yorker in California, and at that moment I didn't speak English very well, and I was living with him for 3 months, and I used tendency to, of course, I run every 3 days. I read books. I used to read in the kitchen, in the living room, so you always used to see me. I don't smoke. I barely drink. I just probably once in a while a glass of wine or so. And after 3 months, when I was leaving, he said to me that I will never forget it, because he said that, like, because of you, the way how I see that how you live, I stopped drinking, stopped smoking, I started to exercise, and even though that he said that I really impacted his life, he massively impacted my life. Because I realized that the way how I live, I could suggest other people to live different way. Because I was listening yesterday as well, like it reminded me of a great thought, is that people dream about the things about what they exposed to. What it means is that when you see the world lived differently, now you have ability to choose to live differently. If you've never seen people living differently, you're not able to visualize and understand how to live. That's why so important is to expose ourselves to different things. And sometimes the best suggestion is by showing, not by telling, showing how to lead by example and really show that there's a different way of doing things. And when you see that there's you or other one is doing things differently, they exposed to that. That means they're able to have a choice to start doing things differently. I think it's such a powerful thing. Give a suggestion by taking action, how they're supposed to do it. Of course, and then not every single time it works, because suggestion for other person might be not the best for you or for other person. But still, like, we need to sometimes ask her, could they really show suggestion rather than giving that suggestion by telling? So I hope you should reflect as well. How often do you give suggestions? Do you practice it? Do you want to be a leader? Because if you want to be a leader, giving suggestion is probably one of the foundational things that we need to develop. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.